right, coming in at number 4 is Kevin Hart. Now, Kevin Hart has watched all the other guys for years and for years. He's watched Jamie Foxx. He's watched Martin Lawrence. He's watched Dave Chappelle. He's watched all the comedians. And Kevin Hart has done the old saying: learn from the best of the best, watch the best of the best, go against the best of the best, beat the best of the best, and become the best of the best. This guy has actually took that old saying and actually made it work for him. Because this guy, Kevin Hart, is in everything. Movies, television shows, commercials. He done voiceover. And when you do movies with Ice Cube, because, he did Right Along 2, Right Along 3, and you do 3 movies with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, you've hit it big in Hollywood. When you get to be with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he had like a small little part in a Fast Furious movie. So the guy is here. The guy's in his prime, okay? He's been in everything, and he had his own television show called Real Husbands of Hollywood. On the other hand, he's tied with my man Chris Tucker. Now, Chris Tucker basically was a guy who popped up at the right time at the right place. And everybody knows if it wasn't for that movie Friday, that movie franchise would not be as successful as it is. Yes, Ice Cube is the man. He wrote parts of the script. Craig was the main character. But when people watch the movie Friday and he played Smokey, there's a lot of people who connect to that character. There are people who relate to that character. And he got outside of that franchise and did another one called Rush Hour. Some people feel like that Rush Hour should have been his movie franchise, and there should have been a 4th movie, but it got canceled. Then there was a television show. He should have been in the television show. So he's managed to be a part of 2 franchises. It's just unfortunate that, fame, temptation, he would have had what they call longevity. I mean, he did manage to last a decade and a half. He got to be in a lot of movies. Fifth Element. He was in that. That was actually kind of funny. He's panicking, screaming. He got to be in Dead Presidents. So he did make his mark in movies. And plus, he's Chris Tucker. And what he's more funny is for doing impersonations of Michael Jackson. Let's not forget Money Talks with Charlie Sheen. So he's had movies where he has shined that wasn't Friday. So, gotta have Chris Tucker on this list. Now, can we? Coming in at number 3 is a tie. It's Martin Lawrence and Jamie Foxx. Now, for years and for years and for years, it was always debated in the late 80s, early 90s, who was the best, Jamie Foxx, Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence got to be in movies with Eddie Murphy. Jamie Foxx is the biggest fan of Eddie Murphy. And right at the same time, they were on prime time television. Martin Lawrence had the television show Martin Lawrence, his own television show. On the other hand, you had the Jamie Foxx show on primetime television. Both guys were headlining television shows and the television ratings. For almost 5 years, Martin Lawrence was kicking ass and taking names. Jamie Foxx was kicking ass and taking names. Then Martin Lawrence's career took off with a movie called Bad Boys, where it made him a bona fide action star. He got to be in 3 movies of Bad Boys. There's going to be a Bad Boys 4. He was in a movie called A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. He was in Boomerang. He's been in a whole bunch of movies. He even did a movie with Jamie Foxx where they disguise themselves as other people, but they're actually cops. So he's actually broke into the movies. And then he took it a step further. He started producing, writing, and directing, and then made another television show. So the guy's career is on fire because no matter how old he gets, it's like he aged like fine wine. Martin Lawrence stay finding activities to do. Now he's gotten in trouble a couple of times. Before that, he did boxing, and he talked about his experiences in boxing. So Martin Lawrence is actually funny, okay? A lot of people don't realize how funny he's funny. You know, he has his moments where he can actually be on screen and have a screen presence. You know, when he's playing off of Will Smith, he's showing you he can hang with anybody. So that's the thing you got to understand about Martin Lawrence. And he became the second person to actually, do the characters. You know, Eddie Murphy first, then he started doing, Sinead from the Martin Lawrence television show. There's him being Karate Man. Y'all remember that? He would do all of that, and people would laugh. He would play the car auto mechanic dude. And then my favorite episode is Bro Man. Bro Man. Yeah, Martin. Why you always coming through the window, bro, man? I don't know, Martin. I just do that. You understand? And why you got your neck like that? I don't know, Martin. I'm going out the window. I don't go through the door. Tommy, what, man? You ain't got no job. I too got a job, Martin. No, you don't, Tommy. Be quiet, Cole. Bye, Pam. You can get the stepping. Those were some good Martin Lawrence episodes. On the other hand, you got Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx also got into the movies. Booty Call, Baps. I mean, Jamie Foxx was getting into these movies. And he hit it big when he did a movie called Miami Vice. Oh, yeah, should have got a franchise, but he was in Miami Vice. And then, of course, there's the movie called Sleepless, which he displayed good martial arts. And he's being cast to play Spawn. I just can't wait to see what he gonna bring to that character. He was in the movie Robin Hood, so he's getting into the movies and people are seeing it. But then he's also known for doing songs too. So it's like you had to give the man some credit. The guy did a television show. The guy put out 4 albums. The guy hooked up and did songs with Ludacris. So he's a triple threat. The guy can do television, movies, songs. So Jamie Foxx is pretty good on the mic. Coming in at number 2 is a legend and an icon and a guy that was taken from us too soon. Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac's the man. Bernie Mac was somebody who's a huge baseball fan. You know, he loves his Chicago Cubs. He loves the Chicago Bears. He loves his Chicago Bulls. Huge fan of sports. Guy got to sing at the national anthem. And the man was in the prime of his career with a movie called The Players Club. I'm Dollar Bill. Ain't no moonlighting up in here. I'm Dollar Bill. That's like one of my favorite villains. He was in the first Friday. Oh yeah, he was in that Friday. He was in Friday, Players Club. He did a movie called Soul Train with Samuel L. Jackson. Those were some good movies. And he had a television show called The Bernie Mac Show. I love that show. And it's just a shame and a tragedy that he passed away in the prime of his career. It was like you got cheated out of greatness. The idea that you could have gotten more from Bernie Mac is what we wanted. And when he passed away, it was just a tragedy because I don't think anybody expected it. I don't think anybody anticipated him passing on. When he did, it was like you knew you were never going to get the funniest person ever again. It was like you were never going to get that again. Every time I watch the television show, I go, only if I could have gotten some more Bernie Mac. Like he was on to, he was gonna reach the level of Eddie Murphy. If anyone could come close to that magnitude, it was him, and it was taken from us. Coming in at number 1 is the greatest, funniest comedian of all times, Eddie Murphy. Let me say it again, Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy. Hello, my friend. Welcome to America, this New York City. The man pops up on a television show called Saturday Night Live. For years and for years, comedians, black and white, Latino, they all try to get onto this television show because that's how you start your career in television and film. He went from performing at small little places in high school and colleges and small theaters to Saturday Night Live. That made Eddie Murphy. And then to propel himself any higher than that, he does a movie called Raw, where he starts doing impersonations of Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby. He starts talking about love and sex. And he likes Prince. He also put out an album. Like, this man liked Rick James, he liked Prince, and he would do impersonations of their songs. And then, of course, the guy comes out there with a purple suit, and you're probably scratching your head trying to figure out what the hell. And the fact that he got away with it is the stuff of legends. Cause you do some shit like that today, you get blacklisted. They'll probably look at you like something wrong with you. They'll clown you. He got away with it. And the fact that he put out so many movies in 3 decades, it's the stuff of legend. Beverly Hills Cop 1, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Beverly Hills Cop 3, The Clumps, Professor Clumps 1 and 2. Those are like his best movies. He did a movie with Dan Aykroyd. Then he did Coming to America, one of his greatest films, hands down. It is the greatest classic movie of all times. If you don't like Coming to America, get some white powder and slap yourself 20 damn times. It is the best damn movie ever. It's getting a sequel. When was the last time you saw Eddie Murphy's movie franchise get a sequel besides that? The Clumps got 2 movies. Coming to America is getting a sequel. Hopefully it gets a part 3. Beverly Hills Cop 3 to me was like the best. He played a character called Axel Foley. You know, he did another movie where he played Bullfinger, where he has a goofy, nerdy brother, and he's rich. He does these movies. Dreamgirls. Come on, man, that's Dreamgirls. He was the best part in that movie. Dreamgirls. He was in these movies. And when it comes to a television show called The PJs, they don't want to ever tell you this, but the PJs was laying the smackdown on the Simpsons candy ass. I love the Simpsons, but the PJs was just whooping that ass. It's documented. Some people don't like it. He did a cartoon. Then he does Mulan. Mulan. Come on, man. He played the little red dragon Mulan. He did voiceover. He did Shrek. Come on, Shrek. He was in at least 4 of those animated movies of Shrek. You got to show this man some respect. He is a legend. He is an icon. If it was not for Eddie Murphy, there would be no Martin Lawrence, no Jamie Foxx, no Chris Rock, no Chris Tucker. None of these people would ever be on this list. It wouldn't be for these people. I mean, the reason why I say it would not be for them is because there would be no Mike Epps. None of these people would ever be on this list or be mentioned if it weren't for Eddie Murphy. He made it cool to play multiple characters. He made it cool to do stuff that people thought was crazy and insane. He took it to the next level. And he's making his comeback, and he's doing it with Coming to America Part 2. He's mentored Kevin Hart. He's done movies with Martin Lawrence. He's done a movie with Dave Chappelle. People were shocked when he did it. And whether those two ever patch up their differences or not, it remains to be seen. But you can't take away from the fact that it all started with Eddie Murphy. Yes, there were guys before Eddie Murphy that were just as good, just as great, but nobody went to the extreme measures like he did. Then he does producing, then he does writing, he does directing, then he does multiple genres. He popped up and did a movie called Harlem Night. He does a movie with Richard Pryor. He does Boomerang, one of my all-time favorite movies. He does a movie called Mentro, makes himself into an action star. He does 48 Hours, another 48 Hours with Nick Nolte. Those are all classical Eddie Murphy movies. Now, I know The Haunted Mansion was not well received. Norbit was not well received. Yeah, there are the movies that did not do very good at the box office, but it's Eddie Murphy. Until then, peace.